a speeding bullet.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
More powerful than a locomotive.
Hulk! Smash!
Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
There's more to them than meets the eye.
It's Superman!
In cars rotate round my stars, sick things, my things, my pets, my things. I love you things I see as much as you love me. You things are heavenly when you come worship me. You things are chill with fright, for I am out tonight. You fill me with delight. You wet my
Hey there, boils and ghouls. Chuckles the Klown here. You're listening to Chuckles Crypt on Rhode Island's freeradio.org, your home of all things pop, comics, and anything basically exciting in nowadays, future, past, and coming up now. we got some special guests in the audience today. Not only do we have Chuck the Klown, who very shortly is going to be running us live on Facebook. We're just running through some technical difficulties. But we also have
Joe Greenhalgh and Herbie Hicks.
All right, with us. And you guys are from Reality A Games, a store that was very generous and kind in taking part in this year's Toys for Tots event and donating a box full of toys and allowing us to come into your shop and not shooting us.
Well, you know, it's good to not shoot your friends.
Oh, I appreciate that. Someone says I'm a friend, Chuck.
Yeah, that sounds weird.
Yeah, I got a friend. One more than you. How's that feel?
I don't need friends. I got my right hand.
Oh, yeah. What he means by that, folks, is he's got his right hand to help him draw.
To high five people.
Yeah, high five people. Nothing to do with anything that would be a $5,000 fine. Oh, here we go again already. So obviously, you guys are into, I guess you would say, we're a special breed of nerds nowadays, but we're hip now.
Yeah, that's true. It's the age of the geek.
Do you remember as a kid, I know I did, that if you were caught playing Magic in school, first of all, the teachers will think that you were a witch.
Yep. I hailed Satan, apparently.
Yep. The students would take your cards and throw them down into toilets and whatnot. Someone that's 6'11" would come into the room while you were playing, kick over your stack of cards, and yell out, "Nerd!" and think it was funny as he was destroying your $300 card that you brought out for the very first time. You remember those days?
Well, I usually bought all those cards and resold them at a high value. That's how I actually got through high school.
Wow. No. This was a smart nerd. I was just one of the ones that was a closet nerd because I knew better. As a matter of fact, I've dealt with, not that this is a big shocker, one of the reasons I do what I do now is I dealt with a lot of bullies. All right. And I still remember to this day one of the freshest things in my head. I had the Max 1 and 2, the comic, the Max from MTV. Yep. And one of the kids grabbed it out of my hand and threw it out the school bus window.
Oh, no.
I remember I was so infuriated, I took the kid's head and slammed it right into the bus window. And instead of him getting in trouble for throwing the books, the bus driver stopped the bus and told me to get off. And I probably had about another mile and a half to get home. So if someone had kidnapped me, killed me, or something on the way, I'm sure the school would have been at fault.
Yeah.
But they still did it.
It's always the last person they see, so.
Yeah. It's always what they saw over there. Now, we're going to go around and talk about, we're talking about all sorts of games, board games, video games. This is the time to talk about it, folks, because Christmas, yes, indeed, is around the corner. Oh. So if you got any ideas for all those folks that are out there that are into playing games or whatnot, we got the guys right here to try to get you to come to their store down in 231 Washington Street, West Warwick, 02893, Reality A Games. You guys are open for what time?
We're open 11 to 7 on most days, except for Sunday. Then it's 12 to 6 because we actually like to have time to ourselves.
And I'm going to come back on something that I think is admirable of you guys. So we're going to talk about that after the next song, which, by the way, we came into things with Alice Cooper's Sick Things. If you guys didn't know, I'm going to be posting up very shortly. I finally got to meet my role model, Alice Cooper. That was incredible. Also as incredible as my first time doing a ghost hunt inside of Fort Adams State Park.
Oh, awesome.
And
that must have been great.
It was great. And we're going to talk about that, too, in a
Thanks
little
for doing
bit.
it there and not here.
Yeah. Well, we did do it here, too, if you remember right. And he won't let me divulge the information because he's a little afraid of what's going to come up after that. So
I spend a lot of time down here. Ignorance is bliss.
I'm going to dedicate this song to me from Tony for every time that I play with this gear inside of one of his buildings, because it seems to be like any time we set up some sort of show or radio studio or television studio, the place is haunted. And, of course, I got to say, oh, can I play with my haunted gear inside your place? And he says yes, but deep down inside, I know he feels this way. Let's go down to some Ugly Kid Joe. Everything I Hate About You.
Are you the guys on the beach who hate everything?
Painless so far.
Is this some sort of hip music that I don't understand?
Yeah, everything I hate about you. That goes out to politics right now. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Everything I hate about you.
There you go.
It's everything. So welcome back to the Chuckles and Laughs. I was almost going into my television show.
Close.
You know what it is you're getting ready to run the Facebook Live app, which I'm trying to hook up right now. And once I get that on there, I thought we were going straight to the Chuckles and Laughs show.
That's the difference between your television and your radio.
Yeah, which is Chuckles Crypt here on Rhode-IslandFreeRadio.org. You figure I'd have this down. I've been doing this for 2 years.
Right.
I don't have this down at all.
Maybe we make you nervous.
Yeah. Come on in. Come on into that microphone. We want to keep you guys nice and close. You do actually make me nervous a little bit. This guy over here has got a trench coat on. You got a jacket on that might have a nightstick under it. I don't know.
Oh, no, I just got a shotgun. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. So you guys could be clown haters.
If they own a business in West Warwick, they should be armed at all times.
Ain't that the truth? That is really. Although there is this
No, we
thing,
just got swords for the store. It's fine.
there is this thing called the Arctic Renaissance, and I believe it is so happening. And
Yeah.
with fine gentlemen like yourself setting up stores down there that people want to go to instead of these, like, all right, I'm going to say this guy's name because I want to bury him. I don't care if he's mobster related or not. You guys know who it is. A such and such pawn shop decided to blame me for stealing a damn Rumble Pack. Now, first of all, if I even knew what a Rumble Pack was, I probably would not have been able to steal it because I had sweatpants on.
I think that's what happens to me after Taco Bell.
Oh, all right.
A Rumble Pack.
Your own Rumble Pack.
But how do you store it in sweatpants with no pockets?
Especially when there's too much cheese in the sweatpants.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe a diaper.
I mean, I came into your guys' store. I'm like, this guy blamed me for stealing the Rumble Pack. The only reason I went there is, like, financial reasons. And you're like, yeah, I can't believe that.
Yeah, Rumble Packs are kind of small, but I'm pretty sure you'd notice if you're smuggling one out.
Yeah, because I'd have to, like, open my pants and drop them down into my clown shorts, and they'd have to be sticking out of the clown area.
Is that a Rumble Pack in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
That is one hell of a new pickup line. Excuse me, sir, is that a Rumble Pack in your pocket, or are you just excited to see me? Now, we're going to go back to Reality A Games here with Herb and Joe, and we're going to talk games. I love games. Who doesn't in this room like games? Even this guy over here that's going to call me a nerd in 5 seconds.
A little bit, you know?
He's a gamer.
Everyone needs to unwind once in a while. You can't work 24 hours a day.
No, it's
Well,
not possible.
Joe can, but everybody else really should.
Joe works 48 hours a day, and I know there's only 24, but he finds another 24 to keep
Calm
it
down.
running.
Yep, that's kind of what he does.
But I'm forced to play games because I am in a game store, so that's not too bad.
That's a pretty good job,
Yeah.
though.
Well, Joe is an interesting type of nerd. He's actually a jock that turned nerd.
I'm a hybrid.
Well, I don't know. I think jocks are a special type of nerds their own. They just don't want to admit to it. I mean, when you can remember those numbers and those scores
The nerds
and
that
the
can run.
dates and everything else, you're still a nerd.
True enough.
I mean, you're using mathematics and remembrance and all that stuff. And although you might be a fan of the Patriots, you remember back in 1984 when Joe Schlipschlop slipped over the football, where I'm going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? However, if you ask me about the X-Men in the 1990s, I can tell you that was a good television series.
yes, it was.
But if you ask me about Brady, I'm like, deflate football? What? I don't get it.
Yeah, well, the only reason why I know about that is because of Facebook.
And Joe,
And Joe, of course. Yeah.
because he told you about it, right?
Yep, he tells me about everything sports. Always.
Now,
well, mostly for his kid, really. But
I'm a board
I
gamer,
like
but
high school sports and middle school sports. And
those are where they're entertaining, though, right? I mean, you get the fights up in the stands with the family members rooting for their kids, and the one guy in the front saying, "Sit down and shut up."
we've had a few of those this season.
Yeah, you ever broke them up, or have you ever started them?
13-year-old football moms. They're pretty tough.
13-year-old football moms.
Well, no, not the moms.
Oh, I'm like, that is tough. I'm like, I know we're in
Once
West
again,
Warwick.
business
I
in
mean,
West Warwick.
I have two cousins. They had kids when they were 12.
Wow. Wow. So they started young, and they could keep starting young. And by the time they're great-grandparents, their those are going to be 13 years old.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
interesting. Twin sisters, actually.
Twins?
Both kids at the same time. It was
Same
very
time?
interesting.
Twin
Well,
sisters.
Yep. I'm hoping it's not the same guy, but, you know.
You never know.
No, you never know.
This wasn't,
Uh,
this wasn't down south. Was it?
No, actually, it was just in Providence. So.
oh, that's just as bad
Oh,
as
up
down
north.
south. Depends on what part in Providence
Around
it
the
is.
projects, it's all good.
Yeah, I'd rather be down south than in the projects of Providence. Even in the clown gear in North Carolina, I'd rather be down south. And although they're hunting me right now, I'd still rather be down south. Now, let's get back to the gaming part of it. I'm a big fan of board games, card games, but I'm a bigger fan of video games because I didn't have any friends. And,
You had me.
well, I didn't have you until after, like, you know.
After you kicked the crap out of him?
Yeah, probably. You know, you're not shitting me because,
Too far from the truth.
you know, it's a little known fact that how Tony Jones and I became really good friends in high school is one day I went up to him, and I don't know what I was thinking. I said, hey, you're a big dude. And he's like, oh, yeah? I said, you want to wrestle? And that's something you would hear down south. And, of course, like, I think he had his wrestling tights at hand at that moment in time because he's like, you want to wrestle? He's like, let's go. And I would swear I was getting ready to get power bombed onto those tables. But then he came in, and everybody was afraid to wrestle him.
True.
So they started pairing me against them to wrestle them.
You brought him in. You wrestle him.
Yeah, it's like, you brought him in here. You take the power bomb. Now, normally, folks, this power bomb is a move where you get lifted up over your head. Most normal people, once that's gone up, you're about 7 feet in the air. And then you got another foot or two to the outside of the ring.
Right.
So that's 9 feet in the air. Now, when Tony picks you up, you're now...
I can see my house from here.
Yeah, you're now 6'11" in the air, plus some, and you got another 4 feet to the ground. And I still remember this day. He goes, "I'm going to power bomb you from the inside of the ring to the out." And I'm looking at him like, "You're crazy, dude. This is going to hurt." I didn't have a choice. The guy's 6'11". If I was going to the outside of the ring, guess what?
Going to the outside of the ring.
One of the most painful moments of my life. And we kicked the crud out of each other so many times. So you're not far from the truth. We actually did get to know each other very well by beating each other up.
Well, there you go.
But even still,
Now you can do that playing video games on.
yeah, and
WWE.
wrestling video games.
Exactly.
Those are some of our favorites, which you guys have very inexpensively down at Reality A Games. I've tried a couple of them and said, "Okay, these suck," and came back down and traded them in with you, because there are those that do wrestling games. There's only two ways. They're either really good or they really suck. There's no in between with that stuff. And they're kind of like Madden's, like 17s or whatever those are. There's thousands of them.
Yep. Every year, Madden ever.
I can't stand those Madden ones.
They even made an ill-fated backyard wrestling video game.
Yeah. We were supposed to appear on that backyard wrestling, but we got knocked out by ICP. Go figure. The clown got knocked out by ICP.
Well, clown versus clown action.
Yeah, except for I'm a real clown, they're ass clowns. That's the difference between the two of us there. So, yeah, grew up, video games were some of my favorite things in the world, and the Nintendo. I absolutely love Nintendo, and I don't think I'm the only one in this room that does. I mean, Nintendo's done some really plausible and really bad things, like
True.
the glove.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
We actually did sell one of those gloves, but it actually wasn't for playing Nintendo. It was to go to a LARP, which is basically, playing D&D out in real world.
Wow. Does he know how much that thing is probably worth, and he went out there with that?
Probably covered it in duct tape.
Well, actually, yeah, he really did. He cut the wire off and he covered it in duct tape.
All the nerds right now that are Nintendo geeks, as bad as that thing is, they just cringed a little bit. So you gave some micro heart attacks to people listening to that. Now, they made the glove, which was a piece of crap. Do you guys remember the board?
Oh, yeah.
Where you had to stand on the board and rock it
We
around?
actually have one, so...
I don't think you're going to sell that.
No, I don't think we are either.
Yep, Virtual Boy, which
Oh, yep.
gave splitting headaches.
I think we got one of those, too, don't we?
We have the Virtual Boy, but we have the Genesis
Oh.
Rumble Pack, which was a backpack you put on just to
Right.
feel your video game.
Oh, good God.
Yep,
Wow,
we got
that's
that.
almost like the video game chair that rumbles.
Oh, yep.
That if you spilt your cereal in it, it was toasted or whatnot. But Nintendo's had its fair share of failures. So let's
Flops.
just put it that way. But it's still one of my favorite systems. What is one of your guys' favorite, Herb? We'll go around the table, around the room.
Well, my first one was the 2600 for Atari. That one was good, but none of the games you could actually really beat plausibly. So I'll have to say my favorite was the PlayStation, the first one. I loved all of the RPG games on it, and I played them until the discs burned out. So,
Joe?
I started from Atari, got into Nintendo, some Sega. I do prefer PlayStation. So I've been on the PlayStation kick all the way up.
The PlayStation 1 up to like PS4 now?
PS4.
You know what? There's a quick story about that before we go down to another musical break. It seems that like when a PlayStation breaks, it's got like a virus that goes to the other PlayStations. I say this because a good friend of mine, Gary DeAngelis, he's dealing with a PlayStation death where he got one that got the yellow ring. And not too long after that, he got one that would keep turning itself on and off. I had a similar issue where I had one where the HDMI port went.
Oh, yeah.
And
I had
then,
one too.
Yep.
Same
And then
thing.
the HDMI port to the other one went. So it's almost like they know, like, hey, this guy's dying. It's time for us to die. It's almost like a code that PlayStation has to tell the other machine time to jump off the cliff, so this guy has no choice but to go buy another.
Yep, it's the seppuku virus. That's what it is.
There you go, the seppuku virus. We're going to come back. We're going to find out what Chuck the Klown's favorite system is and what Tony Jones, yes, Mr. Tony Jones did play video games, and he does have a favorite system. But we're going to go down to some Aerosmith. And it always is a sweet emotion when you're plugging in that brand new video game for the first time until you find out how hard it is. Welcome back to Chuckles Crypt. This time I got it right. I didn't say the Chuckles and Laugh Show, which is exclusive to Rhode Island and New Bedford. I say New Bedford because it's almost like its own separate state from Massachusetts. It really is. That's Massachusetts would like New Bedford to be a separate state. But we are on Rhode Island Channel 13, Monday nights, 10 p.m., and we are on in New Bedford, at 9 p.m., right before the Penny Dreadful hour, or I think it might be 8 p.m. Sometimes it judges back and forth, but right before Penny Dreadful station. So we're here talking with Reality A Games owners, Herbie and Joe, and we're going to talk about something after we get about your creation of your board game. But first, I want to hear what Chuck the Klown, what's his favorite system? People can hear you out there, so make sure.
We're talking about game systems for those that are just tuning in. And I think my favorite platform was the GameCube. I have a Nintendo museum that I own every generation except for the Virtual Boy, because who cares? I have every platform up until that, and with every single one of them, I think that one was the one that had the best game catalog and the best quality of gameplay for my own personal taste.
Except for the Ninja Turtle games on that thing. Those were crap. Tony Jones.
I am a lifelong. My affair with gaming started and ended with Nintendo. I'm a lifelong Nintendo. Now let me tell you two things. I am on the hunt for a classic Nintendo to install in this very space, which means that we'll never be going home to our wives and girlfriends. And also, I'll hastily admit, as a young entrepreneur, I was the first kid on the block to have a Nintendo. So what I did was I charged kids in the neighborhood to come over and, like, for $1 play Nintendo for a little while.
Wow.
Very nice.
He was the Herbie of the Nintendo world.
I'm like Mr. Krabs.
the Herbie.
If you do need a Nintendo, we can help you out with that.
Yeah, we definitely have one. Or like 9.
Nintendo. You can't go wrong with that thing. I mean, I didn't plug mine in for, almost 15 years. I cleaned that sucker out really good, put the first game in, and boom, clicked right over.
Wow.
No issues.
That is rare.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is? So maybe I got one of the good ones. And how I...
Maybe you have some good lungs. You usually have to blow on things.
No matter what they say is don't blow on it. It corrodes it. Bullshit. It works. I don't care what you say. What Nintendo, either it's the 8-bit, it's Super NES, or even
Game
the
Boys.
Game Boys, Nintendo 64. You're blowing it and it works afterwards. Don't know why. Maybe there's a blow-in elf that once you blow in, he goes charging and he runs the disc.
Can I get a blowing elf for Christmas?
That's different from the naughty elf on the shelf, huh? A lot different. But no, I ended up getting my Nintendo because it was mismarked, because I came from a family of 4 to 5 people at once that lived under the roof. So getting a Nintendo when it first came out wasn't going to happen. We were told to be happy we had a Atari 26, which I was, and happy that we had not Coleco, Intellivision, which I was not happy with the Intellivision. That thing I almost took a baseball bat to quite often. I did take a baseball bat to the Intellivision collection that came out for the PlayStation. I was like, now I remember why I hated this son of a bitch. Put it up and clunk, out it went. Might have landed in my neighbor's head. Maybe that's why he hates me, or maybe that's where they got the idea for the CD head from Hellraiser. Well,
now,
it was me.
Having multiple people using one Nintendo, did you have to jockey for positions for Legend of Zelda?
Oh, yes.
To have your guy saved?
Yeah, oh yes, we did. And we could never use someone else's save data. If you got caught using that other person's save data, it was instant groundation.
Wow.
It was like, do not go on there and touch your uncle's or my save data, because if you delete it, you're getting grounded. So that was an instant, you're grounded type deal. But we got ours from Kmart. We paid $13.99 for it when it first came out, because the store had mismarked it. $13.99 for it.
I would buy the crap out of that.
We did, and it came with the robot and the gun.
Oh my God!
Nice.
The robot still works. The
Wow.
gun, we all know the story towards the guns. They don't work unless you have that style of television to use it. It doesn't work on flat screens.
Nope.
I really wish they would fix that. That really bugs me. That's one of those things like, come on, guys. We got the technology to do this. Fix the zapper gun so that it works with the games. I mean, come on. I mean, that's the only game they did not put in the NES Classic, which is a slap in the face of anybody out there that plays NES. Duck Hunt is as classic as it comes.
It's true.
Right.
No, they should have found a way of fixing that. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's like now everybody wants their 8-bit system on a high-def television because they want their pixels as perfect as possible.
Exactly.
So that little new system sold out like crazy. And it's the same thing. They're not marketing correctly to the people who are buying in.
So let's talk a little bit about your game, Herb. It's called Reality A Games?
It's called Reality A. It's a tabletop RPG. It's sort of like D&D. If anybody out there, D&D is the most popular one, but mine's modern day, whereas D&D is always in the past. Basically, magic is real, psionics are real. The gods and mythical creatures kind of walk among you. You can walk down the street and walk past Zeus and be like, "Hey," and you don't even know it's him.
Wow.
What kind of cell phone does Zeus have?
I would say that he would have the most upgraded one.
It's a track phone.
So all those people who are out there trying to hunt me, I could really be Hades.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Or you could talk to him, see if you could jockey for some position down there.
I've already talked to them. I've been kicked out quite a few times.
Oh, there you go.
They don't think any of my comedy acts are funny. They replaced me with George Carlin. If that tells you anything.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's like you're out of here. You're going back up to the land of the living to torture them. So we're going to come back and talk a little more about your game and how someone can play this game with you guys and other games, because what you guys do is amazing as far as your kindness and generosity to the folks out there. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But we're going to go down here to a little John Lennon, one of my favorite singers from the Beatles. And this one out there goes out to the young lady out there that's listening, Lacey and Lydia. Woman, here on Chuckles Crypt, Rhode Yeah, you know it. I'm not saying the word because it makes me shiver every time I think of it. Evil Clown saying that 4-letter word. I'd rather say snow. And here in Chuckles Crypt, Rhode Island Free Radio, live, not only on Facebook, but live at Rhode we are talking with Reality A Games, and we just got done talking about Reality A. Sounds like a really cool game.
Thank you.
I'm going to get... You guys' kindness overwhelms me, and it really does. Between how polite you guys are when people come into the store with everybody, you give everybody a fair shakedown when they're trading in their stuff. You don't rip them off like certain other stores. Totally fault. You give them a fair deal. You give them a better deal if they say in-store credit. Mm-hmm. You teach games such as Dungeons and Dragons and Cthulhu for free. Mm-hmm. You have magic tournaments there, but you also teach them magic for free, which not a lot of places do that. What's your guys' reasoning for this? I mean, I'm being nosy, and the fans out here are being nosy as well.
Oh, that's fine. Basically, what we try to do is we want to make sure that everybody gets to play their games they want to play. Magic gives us little welcome decks, and we're happy to give them out to people because, we get them free. Why would we ever sell them? And then we sit down and we teach the kids how to play. We teach whoever wants to come down, kids, adults. All doesn't matter.
Even the old popular Pokemon you guys play down there, right?
Oh, God. We have played maybe 1 or 2 games since we've been down there.
That had to be crazy.
We have a lot of the old cards, so probably. More than likely, some of those new decks would stomp the crap out of what I used to have.
So you're a big fan of Magic, Joe. We were
Yes.
talking about that at break. I am as well. I was taught a different way of how to play than versus how I was taught the old school rules and house rules.
They've just made modifications. It's basically the same rules, but they just mix them up a little bit just to be more competitive.
Right. So now you're a big fan of Magic, right?
Yes.
What's one of your favorite? Now he's going to yell out nerd. What's one of your favorite decks to play with? Now mine, I like to play with either an all artifact or I would like to say a non-living, which would be black, an all artifact deck.
Well, red and green are very powerful together, so they call it aggro. Mm-hmm. So I like to be casual like some players, but if I want to be competitive, I use this deck so I can beat people in 3, 4, maybe 5 turns. Just to make it quick.
What do you guys think about the old school rules and how they've gotten rid of them, like ante? Like, do you remember that, where you had to put a card in the center?
God, I was
and if
so
you
afraid.
lost, you lost that card, and you didn't know which one you were going to lose.
Yeah, it would be heartbreaking losing some cards nowadays.
Imagine that.
God.
You lose one of those planewalkers that is very rare, because I've lost quite a few cards that I'll never get back. I remember I lost Aladdin's lamp inside an ante, and I lost a card that was from one of the very old series there. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Mirage. Yep. I lost a card out of that, too, and I was pissed because when I turned it around, it was a multicolored dragon that the kid got to walk off with. Ooh. And I've never seen this dragon again. I mean, it doesn't have that sort of competitiveness that it had when we were younger.
Well,
it seems like it's lost it.
Yeah, back in the day, there was no value to the cards. They just came out. Everything was just normal. All right, you lose this card, so they get it. They play with it. Now, some cards are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So that would be very, very painful.
I remember as long ago as probably about 10 years ago before I got married, I had 2 binders full of Magic cards. I talked to you about bringing them down to appraise and see what they're worth. I lost them to an ex-girlfriend.
I remember this well.
So I knew they were worth something because she had them appraised and said she was going to have enough where she could have put her kid through school with them.
Oh, my God.
So the ex-boyfriend at the time, who's now one of my good friends, thank you, Billy, decided to save him for me and trade him for a guitar. I wasn't going to use the guitar. I mean, by all means, they were his. I lost them there. He found them. He didn't have to give them back. So he's like, well, instead of like going through all this bullshit, let's just trade a guitar for the cards back. I said, you know what? I don't play this guitar anyways. Whatever, take it. I play guitar messed up. I'm right-handed, but I play it left-handed.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think I was dropped on my head one too many times as a kid. But he exchanged them back to me, and I was so freaking happy that I got those back. I remember, and some of these I will not take out of the sleeve. But I've had other cards taken out of them by then because I used to have thieves that lived in my house. I had my Fungosaurus stolen, which I love that thing. And I had the Allosaurus from Ice Age stolen out of the pack, which I love that thing. I know it's not worth the biggest amount of money, but they both had dinosaur names in it. And I loved anything that was dinosaurs or dragons or death inside of Magic, which I really enjoyed. When I was in Scouts, one of the things I enjoyed would be in the tent, and all we'd have was a battery-powered light and 2 decks of Magic, and we would be 3 of us in there swapping the cards out to make the decks better, and then we'd give them back to each other afterwards. And we'd let our minds roll with that game, because it really can. Your mind, your imagination with all these games, like Dungeons and Dragons, Cthulhu, Pathfinder, the greatest thing about these games I don't think people see is you lose sense of reality in life. You get to imagine yourself being something that you wouldn't normally be. You guys...
Oh, yeah, we do that all the time.
Yeah? I'm not the only one that spaces out inside that. Am I inside here?
I think that's what it's meant to be.
At this point, with the country the way it is, would like to tune out.
Even with video games. I mean, yes, we can't go out there shooting people and jamming them out of the car without being arrested. But we're imagining ourselves after a bad day of work, which we all had that, being that guy, pulling your boss out of the car and stomping him down bloody murder and then taking his car and running it into the dock.
The legal department here at Rhode Island Free Radio thanks you for saying that you can't do those things.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very much appreciated.
You're welcome. This is Chuckles Crypt. This is not another radio station show that I will not talk about on air.
Yeah, even my wife will come home and she loves Skyrim, and just a bad day, she just plays Skyrim and just...
That is a good game.
And
that I gotta give that. That's probably the best game of all time. If there was an all-time best game, I know everybody gives it to Mario, whatever, but Skyrim. I mean, you can play that game over and over again, and you're still not going to play it the same way you did when you first got the game.
Yep, that's true.
And they just released it to the one with better graphics.
Yep, the Skyrim remastered.
Oh, it is gorgeous. Gorgeous game.
My fiance plays that all the time.
What is one of your favorite card games or board games, other than, of course, your game, Reality A?
Let's see. I mean, I love Magic too, but there's a new game that came out called Final Fantasy. Now, we all know Final Fantasy as a video game, but it's actually a trading card game now.
Wow, so it's a trading card game version of the video game, or did this exist beforehand? It's just come into the States.
Released.
All right. That's pretty cool. You guys ever heard of this game called HorrorClix?
Yep. Actually, I have a lot of HorrorClix in the back I use for my D&D and or Reality A games.
Whenever you want to play, let me know. I love HorrorClix. You should put that up there. I got a couple in my... Big shocker. The Clown loves HorrorClix. Like, you wouldn't have known that. If you didn't know that, you're listening to the wrong radio station. We're going to go down to some music here, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little more about gaming, see what maybe some of these guys' favorite games are other than video games, because there are a lot of games out there. But I would be amiss if I didn't mention our good fellows down at Greenwich Cove Meadery, 579 Washington Street, Coventry. If you guys are looking for a great Christmas gift, they're open Saturdays, I believe from 1 to 7. Go down there, get yourself a bottle of mead or some wine. The guy that runs the place, he's a great character. Rob, if you're listening, you're good people, no matter what anybody else says.
And they have a great flavor called Dragon's Breath, which I can just picture D&D players passing around as they played.
That's a good idea. We should bring some down and have like a 21-plus game night. Bring around the mead, so every time someone says the word Harry, you got to take a swig of mead.
Shot of Dragon's
We'd
Breath.
have to after 7, so we'd be officially closed.
We got to do that. That would be fun. I'm within walking distance, so it doesn't matter. And you guys can crash inside my garage or if you want to. Awesome. Hey, the garage is a studio that's better set up than the house. So
They might literally crash in it.
yeah, please. So let's go down to Scarlet Angel and their self-acclaimed song, Scarlet Angel, here on Chuckles Crypt, Rhode Love Scarred Angel. I got a chance to check them out at one of the haunted conventions that I went to, and it's called Midwest Haunters Convention. Usually comes around in June, so keep your eye out for that. That's always a good time. Good music bands show up. You get to tour haunted houses. Really have a lot of fun. Just like these are fellow nerds of haunt, they are fellow nerds of gaming as well. Usually haunters are gamers. We're the same thing, especially if you're a D&D actor. You make almost too good of a haunter. We almost got to say, hey, tone it down. We want the people to go through. We don't want you to give them the whole spiel. But again, with us, we're going to be wrapping things up very shortly. But if you haven't caught the show, please tune back to Rhode-IslandFreeRadio.org, and you can pull us down and listen to us the next day, or you can listen to us, some of our older ones up there. Again, Herbie Hicks, thank you very much. Joe, thank you very much for coming down. Before we leave, Chuck, what's one of your favorite games? Real quick.
One of my favorite games.
Other than video.
Card game, Munchkin, the totally different thing. So that's the thing that I like.
With Munchkin, actually, we have a thing going on where with Steve Jackson Games, and we're actually going to be one of the big tournament stores if you want to look out for that.
Tony?
You know, I don't have the attention span for these type of things. What I am intrigued by as a lifelong wrestling fan is this new WWE-related card game that they're putting out right now.
Interesting.
Have you guys looked into that one yet?
We will be now.
Yeah, it will be now. Now, if someone, say, that's listening is not of local, international or national, how could they get a hold of some games from your store, whether it be video games, board games, card games?
All right, we do have a website, but it's still in production. But our Facebook page is very active, so you can check us out there. You can contact us, and then if you need any information or if you need anything at all, we can help you out there.
Facebook page, again, is Reality A Games?
Reality A Games, the store.
All right, the store.
Wants me to ask you real quick what your thoughts are on Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, yeah, we do carry Cards Against Humanity, and it is a very fun game.
Yep. We both played Cards Against Humanity with another good friend of ours, Rob. He has every single Cards Against Humanity, so a game with him is like 6-7 hours long.
That is a fun game, I have to admit. That is one of my favorites. Tony, you should try that game.
And
I've heard good things, yeah.
Also.
I'm pretty sure you would like that one and have the attention span. There can be some raunchy answers to some of those things.
It seems like everybody gets drunk while they're playing it. So,
well, I'm on it. So if someone's local in the Rhode Island, Massachusetts, or Connecticut area, heck, anywhere in New England, basically, how could they get to your store locally?
Well, you can come on down to Arctic. We're conveniently located near Boneheads, Arctic's in West Warwick. Go down and see us sometime.
Reality A Games at 231 Washington Street, 02893.
Which, by the way,
West Warwick.
Back in my day, that was a one-way street.
Yeah, sometimes scary going down that thing. But we're getting to that point of time. We're going to wrap things up. Let me first give out some thanks to a couple of the folks that helped donate this and make this Toys for Tots as successful as it is. Reality A Games, again, thank you very much. Greenwich Cove Meadery, Boneheads, and that's at 131 Washington Street, West Warwick, Rhode Island, and that's 02893. That's a great place to pick up some food if you want to come back and play some board games with your friends. Not so much card games, though, because the sticky stuff is kind of going to ruin it.
They are in walking distance, so you can go pick up some food and come back and play some games.
Maybe better playing Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder with that, because it's not a set. It's your dice that you're getting sticky, not other people's stuff. So that's probably a little better. And of course, if you're not playing games, you need a good comic book to read. Our friends from Rubber Chicken up in the plaza at Bellingham Commons, 15 North Main Street, apartment number 4, Bellingham, Mass. 02019. And we'd like to give a great thanks out to Kate and Allie's, of course. If you guys need a good haircut like me, I've always needed a good haircut. They're up in West Warwick as well as 64 Tyoke Ave. So thanks everybody out there for listening. Tune in next time. You might have escaped the Christmas thing. Thank God for that, huh? Let's go down, and I hope these aliens come down to help us out with this situation that's going on right now. Any rule would be better than a Trump rule. Let's go down to Megadeth's Hangar 18 here on Chuckles Crypt, Rhode Island Free Radio. Tune in next time.